Hello sisters. This is Jonita D'souza. Happy Sunday. I guess we are live. I'm going to double check before I know. I'm gonna make sure if I'm live. Yes, I'm live. So hi, happy Sunday, and I am really happy to be just doing this. Current frame rate is yeah, I'm really excited to be sharing something that probably would resonate to your journey as a woman. So stay tuned for the next 10 minutes. I am very amazed by the journey that we have completed over the 9 days, the Feminine Empress activation and activation temple. And let me know, how was it for you? How was the 9 days for you, and how are you feeling about the Feminine Empress archetype in itself? Is that something, did you learn something that, you know, one thing at least that made it worthwhile your time? So I am also super excited, as you must have already seen, that the doors have opened for the Feminine Empress codes, which is a 3 months online immersion, a very in-depth training into understanding and implementing your lover, mother and warrior essence. And a few sisters have stepped in, so it's even more exciting. And yeah, so as I said in the closing call, in the closing ceremony of our Feminine Empress activation temple, that I will be utilizing this month of July as a space to share more about the standards of the Feminine Empress, so that those who got a taster of it and would like to understand more can play with more of the standards that I will be sharing and hone them in you. Because what I know for sure is that when we learn something new, what is important for us is to keep coming back to that learning, so that that learning is really fully absorbed within our psyche. So that is my intention for this month of July. I will be coming up impromptu lives, or sometimes scheduled lives, and sharing nuggets that can help all of us to raise our standards as women. And hopefully it will also entice you to step into this powerful container of the Feminine Empress codes 3 months online immersion, because I have kept it available at a very reasonable investment for this month of July. And unlike all the other sales practices that happens in the personal development, spiritual development, you know, they open sales only for 4 or 5 days to rush people in, to create this feeling of, you know, otherwise you will miss out or something, FOMO. And when I was tuning into my Feminine Empress, I didn't feel like going through that classic traditional way of selling, and I thought, all right, you know, this is an expansive archetype. This is something which is greater than what we are right now, because Feminine Empress is our greatness in action. And I cannot confine it to this period, and I wanted to expand the experience, so that truly whoever is ready for this up-leveling can come in, and whoever wants to chip in and take nuggets can also take the nuggets and enjoy, practice, learn, up-level at your own pace, you know. And this is why I have been sharing why particularly the Feminine Empress archetype journey is not for everybody. It is not for all the women. It is this archetype requires you to step up in ways that will make you feel uncomfortable. You will be touching your triggers, you will be sourcing from your crisis, and which is why this is not a container for everyone. But what I respect deeply and thoroughly is that everyone is in their rightful course of growth and expansion, and wherever you are at this stage in your life, this is what is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And on the other hand, you know, some, as I said before, that some of the that's interesting. What was that? Some of the archetypes of the some of the women who are journeying in this lifetime are also part of the chaos, and in no way of, you know, authority or not, but it is important. They play an important role because their presence makes us realize what is missing or not. So everyone has a role to play here, and what is important is that we honor where we are. And Feminine Empress in particular is an archetype where women are called to play bigger, to serve their gift. But that serving only happens when you go through several stages of growth. And wherever you are, as I said, you are perfect. Which is why I want to share about the 4 stages of becoming a Feminine Empress today, and maybe you can resonate. If I look back 10 years ago, I am 100% sure that so recap. Feminine Empress is also for women who are called to serve, who are called to share their gifts to the world, because they have a calling that they play an important role in the current times in any which ways, through their service, through their presence or whatever, but they have this deep burning desire inside of them. Yeah, so again, 10 years ago I wasn't ready to serve. In fact, I wasn't even interested to serve. I had my own drama to deal with and my own crisis to deal with, and it was perfect then. Today is a whole different story, which is why it is important for us to understand these 4 stages of becoming Feminine Empress. Why? Because firstly, when you become aware of where you are at right now, it helps you ease out a little bit into the, you know, rather than feeling that you're missing out or you should be doing something else, or it is being too slow a progress or something else. And secondly, you can honor your journey wherever you are. You can look back a couple of years down the lane or 6 months down the lane, and you can still, I'm very sure that you can still honor the journey that you have been so far. So it's very important for us to recognize the stages. So let's talk about the stages, and I want to weave in my experiences as I speak about the stages. And when I say that, I'm curious if you can share with me who or which stage you assume you are at right now. So the 4 stages of becoming a Feminine Empress is like this. The first stage is the stage of crisis. Oh gosh, we've had so many. So what do I mean by crisis? This is that point in your life where you are just shaken out of your normal routine. You know, a life circumstance hits you and you are like, oh my god, I just don't know what else to do with my life. It could be due to some violation that you experience. It could be due to some loss of power that you experience. So this moment of crisis, which we also call as the dark night of the soul, you know. And in my case, again, in 2007, it was this whole crisis scenario of my father's death, bad relationship, body shame, and all of that. And this crisis just happened all at once in my life. So I was in that crisis stage at the time. The beautiful thing, what happens during the crisis stage, is that a deep longing, a deep desire is born. A deep desire which is similar to some kind of desperation, that, oh my god, I'm just so desperate to change this. I want to change, but I just don't know how. So that's the first stage of crisis, you know, when life hits us with some kind of circumstance, some kind of dark night of the soul moment, and we continue being there time after time, patterns repeat, and then we realize, like, shit, I need to change. I just don't know what. I'm so done. And there is this deep longing, a seed is born. So that's the first stage. And then the second stage is the stage of trauma. This is when you start to seek, yeah, let's say you are just so done with your shit, and this deep desire for change is born in you, and you start looking here and there, and probably you stumble upon some, you know, personal development seminar or something similar source, some article, some podcast or something, yeah. You stumble upon that, and then you think, like, okay, let me see, and then you realize that they're talking about situations, life circumstances, that makes you realize that, oh my god, I have trauma. And your trauma is, you know, it doesn't have to be something that big, but it can be also something big. It could be something that the patriarchy in itself that has created in you, you know, the ideas of shame, guilt, are the trauma inherited by the patriarchy in us women, limiting beliefs. So the second stage is the realization, like, shit, I have so much stuff to deal with, and this emotional baggage and wounding and mother wounds, and, you know, you just come across all those new terms and you are overwhelmed, and you think, like, okay, you've got so much work to do, and you actually become alive in your trauma. And again, this is a very overwhelming phase. And on the other hand, we are required to feel it all to heal it. Yeah, you have to feel it to heal it. So this is a stage of growth. This is the second stage of becoming a feminine empress. So again, if I look into my stage, when I was in crisis, and then I became desperate, and I found resources, and then I started studying with a spiritual teacher, and then I realized I had so much anger and so much emotional baggage and such low self-esteem and all of those things, and I started realizing that what was keeping me down. I started realizing patterns and ideas and norms, and some of them not even mine. Yeah, so that was the second stage, overwhelming, but also important to feel all of that to move through. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't really serve us. And then comes the third stage of becoming a feminine empress, and that is, before that, let me know if this resonates with you. Yeah, have you felt this? Have you felt this stage of crisis, and then you moved on, and then the crisis revealed some trigger that you knew that you had to deal with? Yeah. And then the third stage of becoming a feminine empress is the stage of transformation. This is a beautiful stage where you realize that, wow, okay, so I can develop new skills and new capacities. I can learn about the feminine energy. I can rediscover my identity. I can learn about all those possibilities, you know, so much more is available, and I have opportunity. I can see this, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not that bad, so I go continue. practicing, developing new capacities to receive, activating the life force energy, the Shakti. So this is the third stage. It's a very beautiful stage of growth where transformation is happening. And this is where most of us are also right now in our lifetimes, where we are learning new things and integrating and practicing, and then we hit back we are hit back with life circumstances, and then we get to go practice again and all of that. So this is the stage of transformation, is the stage of becoming, third stage of becoming a feminine empress. And then comes the fourth stage, the fourth and the final stage of becoming a feminine empress, which this stage is called the gift. This is where you realize that, hold on, yes, I have crisis, yes, I come from crisis, yes, I've experienced violation, loss of power, yes, the trauma, yes, I am learning, yes, I'm developing, and I know I'm meant for more. I know I have a gift and I'm supposed to serve, use this gift in ways that is beyond just the me. It's the stage of through me what else is possible and what else is important. So it's the stage of realizing that yes, I'm meant to be holding space for others, I'm meant to be serving in certain ways, I'm meant to be showing up my creativity in ways because I have a medicine to share. So this fourth stage of becoming a feminine empress is the stage of stepping up and resurrection. So when we work with the feminine empress codes, we work towards becoming the gift. Of course, as I said, we all have experienced crisis, trauma, and we are experiencing transformation as well. But you see, we are in the age of Aquarian age. We moved into the Aquarian age, and this time and age right now, things are accelerated. Things can happen really quickly, and we are called to rise like the phoenix. We are called to become this lotus, like standing beautifully, sleekly, straight, tall, blossoming among the chaos. And if you have been called. We don't have to spend a decade healing because if we utilize the ancient codes available, we can together do it much faster. And that's the gift stage. That's what a feminine empress is about. Yeah. So let me know how this sits with you. Let me know where you are finding yourself right now. And you know what, often we repeat this cycle of 4 stages. There are times when for me, like when I realize, like, yes, the gift, I'm meant to serve, I'm meant to show women the way. And then there were also times that I was hit with crisis again, and then I had to deal with my trauma again, and then the transformation happened, and then I realized my gift again. So we keep repeating sometimes these 4 stages. But what is important is to recognize if we resonate with these 4 stages. Yeah. So, and if you are ready to become the gift, then you are welcome to join us for the Feminine Empress codes, and together we will learn a lot of ancient codes. And it's not only going to be about learning, but also implementing and showcasing, so that you become the gift. Hey Martina, the gift is in my serving of daughters who I know watching me as I experience the trauma of betrayal and 15-year relationship. Oh, it hurts. Yeah. So the journey of the Feminine Empress is not for everybody. A lot of us spend a lot of time in the transformation stage itself, and we want to do it just for ourselves, and that's also right in all sense. There is no belittling here. It doesn't make you bigger or smaller, because everybody contributes to the collective consciousness through their presence. Yeah. Then there are specifically people who have this burning desire that, and I know so many women here inside this group that have creative potential, and we are just not stepping up because we are just too caught either in the transformation stage, because we think that we need to do much more work on ourselves, or we are stuck in the crisis stage. We keep going back because some patterns keep repeating. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you, what it is for you, how this sits with you. And as I said, if you want to enjoy the ride of becoming the gift, then I'm going to be your guide in the Feminine Empress course. I'll see you inside there, and for now, have a beautiful rest of the Sunday. And I'll be tuning in from time to time inside this group. Possibly I'll do a dark feminine transmission for the coming lunar cycle. Yeah, I'll post more in the group. So signing off.